Remember, folks, when it comes to gift giving around the holidays, it's the afterthought that counts. Merry Christmas! Speaking of afterthoughts, EXmas is a Freeview original directed by Jonah Feingold, who's done At Midnight and a couple other projects, and also was written by Dan Steele, with an E on it for maximum steelness. I don't know where I was going with that. He's written various television projects. Check out the respective IMDb pages for the full listen to their work. Freeview, by the way, is an ad-based channel that you can find on Amazon. You can get movies like this. Boy, what a goddamn treat. Okay, when it comes to Christmas movies, Hallmark pretty much has it on lock, as the kids say, I believe. As white as those movies are, I mean, they give the definition of white Christmas a whole new meaning, a very clandestine mindset. This involves two X's. Obviously, if you were going to spell it EXmas, you have to have them be X's because you can't do Xmas. It's not going to be X going to give it to you. Allie gave up on Graham because he wasn't going to give her all of his time and he worked too hard and she wanted to go have a baking truck and his heart wasn't in it. So she broke up with him before he could break her heart into a million pieces, and DMX is rolling over in his grave now, so I'm going to move on. But yeah, the plot of this, Allie is going to be spending her Christmas alone. Graham, whose family is a Stroopid. I don't think Salt and Pepper are dead, and they probably kind of wish that I was after ruining that song. Enough 80s references. Graham is going to be working on a Wii shovelware game called Poof and Puff. Seriously, I know games are hard to code, but you cannot tell me that game couldn't have been done by a goddamn, demented sea serpent. Even though sea serpents probably can't type because they don't have hands, still could come up with a game just about that good. Nevertheless, Graham isn't going to be home for Christmas, so Allie still gets along with the family. She chats with them, including his sister Mindy. And the parents invite her, and then Graham suddenly says, I'm going to go home for Christmas. And then Allie's there, and he's upset because they have tension and everything. And oh no, you broke up with me. Well, you hurt me. And Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's generic bullshit where these two that are separated because you got to keep them separated. Hey. And Allie was afraid she was going to be alone now, but the parents said there won't be anyone around, so you're not going to be alone now. The Christmas music will be the only sounds. Okay, a lot of song references here. Essentially, you have Leighton Meester, I think it's Lee, I don't really care, no offense to her. She plays Allie. She was in The Roommate, along with Minka Kelly. And while they're two beautiful women, that movie was entirely unnecessary and implied that a kitten got put in an appliance as a way to advance the meager plot. So yeah, fuck whoever came up with that. And Robbie Amell plays Graham. And then you have Michael Hitchcock, who plays Dennis' dad. You have Catherine Greenwood, who plays Jeannie. And then you have others. You have Mindy, who's played by a woman named Veronica with the last name that would be very hard for me to pronounce. You have Elliot. And then you have other people that just pop into this. And I'm amazed they actually tried to have representation in this. Maybe the Hallmark mind control devices got out of their heads and they said, shit, we could include people that aren't totally white. So yeah, I don't know if it's coming across with this, but this movie was dog shit, really dog shit. It's both inoffensive and monumentally stupid at the same time. I've seen way worse Christmas movies out there just in the last few years alone. But for something that's supposed to be sweet and syrupy, it involves characters that are so one note and almost seemingly written by a butchered AI program. It's actually astonishing that anybody was able to act in this and not think deep inside, Jesus Christ, I could be doing something better. Maybe everybody had a good time making it. And while, again, the movie isn't offensive, God, this is shit. No wonder it's on a free service. I hope everybody can have bigger and better projects after this, because you can't get much more generic and bland than this. The thing about it is the music is especially shit. And I'm not even knocking the person that composes stuff. They probably just said, go find elevator music and make it worse. And we'll release your family because we're holding them prisoner until you do this. The Christmas music was really, really bad. Really, really shit. Since the family is called the Stroops, I called this movie Stroopid. And that was a lot more creative than any of the other jokes in this. At one point, the mother said something about, oh, she's stopping this joke or this conversation said I would hit that. That's not how that works. It's not how that works. And yeah, that's the level of humor you're going to find in EXmas. And it's terrible. It's really, really fucking terrible. And the only reason I'm doing movies like this in Merry Christmas is because this was requested that I watch bad movies. And there's some other Christmas movies coming out. And yay, I do things for fun. And I try to turn my brain off while watching this. And unfortunately, I think everybody else making it turned their brain off. This was terrible. This was really, really terrible. Watch it on Freebie. Maybe you'll like it. I mean, you probably won't hate it like I do, but I'll certainly tell you what I thought of it. Terrible. Fucking terrible. Sadly, probably not even the worst thing I'm going to end up watching during the holiday season. Whoop-de-doo and hickory-dock. And let's just get a mouse to go at the clock, and maybe he can make the clock fall on EXmas, and we don't have to worry about it again. And maybe the movie will come to town, and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get into spoilers right now, so there you go. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Yeah. So yeah, Leighton Meester's character wanted to have a baking truck. That led to the breakup. That was one of the things that led to the breakup of the engagement between her and Graham, because Graham was so devoted to his work that him and Allie just couldn't come to an agreement. It's not like Allie is totally innocent in this whole damn thing too. She's not exactly the best person, but the plot of it is they basically are trying to get the other kicked out of the house before Christmas. I'll prove that my family loves me. Well, I'll prove that your family loves me more. And the bet is whoever loses has to leave before Christmas. No, really, that's the plot of this. Welcome to Minnesota. That is a very depressing sentence, I will say. Nothing against Minnesota, just still. Anyway, everyone is unlikable and stupid. And here's the thing. There are actually... There's a good cast here. It's just as far as characters are unlikable and stupid. And then... The idea is they're like, okay, we'll make this bet. He tips his hand early that he's going to try and frustrate, or he's going to try to get the family frustrated with Allie. And yeah, also Mindy, the sister, turns out to actually be gay, and she broke up with her girlfriend, or her girlfriend broke up with her just a week prior. So yeah, breaking up around Christmas, that's really shitty. Staying with somebody just for Christmas and breaking up with them right after is equally shitty. If you think you're going to break up with somebody, maybe break up before the holidays. Well before. And then there's a sight gag with the toilet, literal toilet humor. This is putrid is what I wrote down. There's a running gag of baby Jesus is being stolen. It turns out the neighbor's dog actually was, or a homeless dog. It's hard to tell, really. It's even harder to care, but you should always give pets, the proper home, take care of stray animals, and make sure that they get to no-kill shelters and can find a loving home. And there's this other side plot with this guy Brady that Graham used to know, because Brady's just someone that he used to know. Brady is someone that he used to know, and he's working at some department store that that Graham's family owns. Also, there's another thing where Allie has a fear of ghosts because one headbutted her. That would explain why the writing was shit. Maybe the executives got headbutted by goats, and that's why they thought this was a good idea. So Brady ends up kind of wanting to hook up with Allie for nefarious reasons. There's a lady named Jess, played by Donna Bitrasio. I think I might have screwed that up, but she says, oh, well, Graham, we used to go to school together a few grades apart. Now, I know it's Hollywood, and I know that we're not supposed to realize this stuff, but the actor that plays Graham was born in 88. And the actress who plays, Jess was born in 2002. That's not just a few grades apart. That's basically if somebody were to be graduating high school, they would just be starting elementary school. I mean, what the fuck? So anyway, a double date. And yeah, this doesn't really go anywhere because there ends up being something where we get more flashbacks. We find out the whole thing was a food truck. She wanted to have a baking truck. Graham is married to his work. Then there's an ice fishing scene when the heater gets put down into the goddamn water and they almost get electrocuted, despite the fact that I don't think they would have. That's not how physics work. And then Allie decides to bake them cookies, but she uses the wrong kind of butter. She uses THC butter, which makes everybody high, except the people who didn't eat it. And this Jess apparently is a swinger. Whatever, however you get down, but Graham wasn't down for that. And then Brady kind of, makes his intentions known that he was just trying to make sales, and that's why he was with Allie, because he's a used car salesman. And then Allie and Graham get back together. The mother has a heart-to-heart with Graham, saying, well, hey, you should be together with Allie if you really want to be, but if you feel you screwed up, you got to make right. You got to make this right. And then they play a hockey game on Christmas, and then the dad has a heart attack. No, really. This is just a tonal shift in the last number of minutes. The dad ends up fine, don't worry. And then days after that, Allie is going to leave. Allie's going to leave, and she's going to go home. And then they do this, slow-mo sight gag thing where they try to get in a car, a Datsun, with 5 people, which is pretty impossible. I used to ride in a Datsun, and it's a really small car. But then Allie shows back up. And there was also another running gag here. Lots of running gags that make you want to gag. She always forget her phone. This time she forgot her phone. And she says that after Graham basically pours his heart out saying he would be a better man for her. And then, I just forgot my phone. Kidding. And they kiss and they're all together. And then a year later, they get together in L.A. And Mindy is with the girl that she hooked up with at the bar. And then 2 years later, 2 years later, Allie and Graham have a kid. And also Mindy is at their house. And Heather gets invited, the ex. And Graham, what the F? It's an F. How dare you, EXmas? How dare you? How very dare you? Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.